Good morning or good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world watching this. Long time since I've done a video for my YouTube channel, so a few people have asked me what's going on, what's happening. Well, basically because of lockdown, nothing. That's been the problem, and only recently in the last couple of weeks in the UK have we started lifting some of our restrictions, so I'm able to go out and about a bit more. We've got strict social distancing in a lot of places. Our bars and cafes aren't open, etc. So we can't, there isn't that much to do apart from go some shopping, etc. So what I've decided to do today though is a short drive to the seafront area of my city, Plymouth in the UK, and just bring my own coffee in a thermos cup. Although some of the takeaway cafes and coffee shacks are open, but you have to queue, and the queue looks mega long because of course the social distancing means we're like 2 meters apart from each other. So I thought I'd just come up here. It's a relatively nice sunny morning compared to what it has been, and sit, enjoy the sunshine. It's relatively quiet because at this moment it's only just before 9 AM on a Sunday morning. So I'll just show you around, take you a few places that I like to drive to, just to kill some time and to relax. But for everybody, I know the lockdown has been difficult, more so for people that live alone and particularly the elderly. So it's nice that the restrictions are starting to be lifted now. So like I say, let's hope to a better world and a newer world coming around the corner very, very shortly. So, as I said just now, the sea is very calm today, and it's sunny. It's been raining on and off for 2 or 3 days, and it's nearly getting on to the middle of June. But I've got quite a few people out. You can see some here that are paddle boarding. And generally it's pleasant to be up here in the summer. Again, it's possible to go swimming even with some friends and stuff now, which it wasn't before. And as long as everybody social distances and stuff, we're okay. And I've got friends, you might be able to see them now, that go swimming here every Sunday, I believe, and that could well be them there. But honestly, I wouldn't recommend swimming in the water in the UK if you like warm water. It's pretty damn cold no matter what time of the year. So anyway, let's drive around a bit further. So I'm just going to drive around the seafront, which is called the Hoe, and that's H-O-E. I know that might cause some amusement to my American friends, but it's not the sort of hoe you're thinking of. Right in front, you'll see as the van starts to turn, is something called Smeaton's Tower. Basically, it's a lighthouse that used to be 12 miles out to sea. Has been replaced now by a more modern system many years ago. And I'm just making sure I'm keeping to the traffic rules here. And basically, it's just used as a visitor attraction now. So you've got that. In front of us is something called Plymouth Dome on the right-hand side, and that was a display museum type thing of the Hoe in the area, but it failed. It then became a restaurant, taken over by Gary Rhodes, the famous chef that sadly has now passed, and is now up for sale again as an empty building. But this area in the daytime later on today will be pretty damn busy, even with the COVID-19 restrictions. Let's just hope everybody keeps self-isolating. But very popular for the Plymouthians, as we're called in my city. to come up here and just relax, go for a walk most evenings. It literally only takes me you know, a few minutes to drive here, no more than 5-10 minutes, and it's just nice to sit by the sea. So just looking to see if I know any of my friends that are here. No, nobody here now. I think they're usually here very early. So again, a lot of works. I mean, I don't know if it's the same in your countries, wherever you are watching from. A lot of companies have taken the opportunity while there's been lockdown to upgrade and redecorate and rebuild some of their buildings, etc. Which seems to make sense to me. Best time to do it if you've had to close because you're not allowed to open, then obviously why not use the time as opposed to just sitting wringing your hands. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of businesses also, particularly amongst the hospitality side, you know, that won't open again because of just they can't survive without the business that has been missing. So anyway, we've just gone around there, around the seafront area now. We're coming out of that. Next I'm going to take you to an up and coming development area which we're not very far from now, on the seafront. A lot of flats here that are being built, as you can see, apartments, but it's from I'm going to go to our ferry port basically, again something that's not in operation at this moment. Right, so we're coming to an area called Mill Bay, which has been under development now for a few years, and particularly this on the left, what I'm just turning into now, will be a new boulevard that's going to run from the ferry port right to the city centre. They're almost finishing the building on the right here, which is going to be residential and restaurants, etc. underneath. They're going to do the same on the left. The middle is, from what I've seen, and the plans are going to have like palm trees and stuff like that here, and a seating area. So it's going to look very South European is what the expectation. So this road also leads to some of the new residential flats. Right in front of me is the ferry port. Obviously there's no ferries in at this moment, but there's a rather nice super yacht sat there which I'm going to take a closer look at possibly. But the apartments here quite nice. They're only a few years old now. Areas planted up very nicely. Looks pretty good. So let me see, how close can I get? Not very far. This is the, it used to be able to drive straight down, but because of the building work they've stopped it. Let's just turn around and then we can see this yacht, and then I'm going to Google to find out who it belongs to. It's called Leander. It's flying the British ensign on the back. Hamilton is showing where it's based or registered, which I believe is in, without making myself sound a fool, I think is in the Bahamas maybe. Right in front is the ferry port. Let's just go somewhere I can park up and maybe take some photos of this a sec. Let's just try here. So all this area that I'm in now is actually under development. Obviously things have stopped for a minute, but a lot of investment gone into the place, and there are going to be flats and apartments and shops all around this area as part of the waterfront, and it's going to be a nice area to be, I would have thought. So I will just walk a little way around and you'll see what it looks like now. Maybe in a few years time when I come back to the UK to visit, I'll see a completely different place. So let's have a look. Yeah, so at this time there are a few nice motor yachts parked here, but the area we just drove through is behind. and that's the development along the new boulevard. In the distance there, just let me think, there is one of the oldest hotels in Plymouth, Duke of Cornwall Hotel, basically built middle of the 1800s, I believe, but nice upmarket hotel, pleasant place to stay. But yeah, this area really is, like I say, is not the main marina area. There are at least 4, if not 5, in the Plymouth area I can think of off the top of my head. But one of these would be very nice to go out on a day's fishing, wouldn't it, really? For me, anyway. I would like to dabble with one, shall we say. Some of them are also parked because I think they're new, and the berths are actually rented by Princess Yachts, that is based in Plymouth worldwide, maker of super yachts. Yeah, looking at these, they look quite new and unpersonalized, shall we say. So this area is going to be developed also eventually. I mean, one thing I noticed there, the flats they're putting up, they've got like the ones you see there that I've built that are quite on the front of the place. But if you look over behind me, you've got the situation ones that are built here now on the front are sort of taller than ones behind, so the people there really haven't got much hope in hell of having a view, which hopefully that was stated before they put their money down. But yeah, look at that. Hey, a Princess 70. That would do me nicely. Yeah, looking at it's new because it's got covers of everything inside. The last time I've seen, well, not the last time, but most of the time I see things like this were in was in Monaco. I've been there several times, and obviously that is probably one of the biggest markets for the boats like this, I would have thought. Now, although the weather was nice first thing this morning, there are some black clouds that have started to appear. So, right, let's take a detour across and have a look at this super yacht, which I will Google shortly and find out who the owner is. Leander. It used to be the name of a Type 21 frigate based in Plymouth. Type 21 being the 70s and 80s, I believe, was when the Type 21s were prevalent. But yeah, and then in the distance, whoops, trying not to get the finger on it. So there's the yacht, very nice. And then next to it you see something called Drake's Island. Try and stop the camera shaking. It's better. I did this video ad hoc. I wasn't intending to do it today. I suddenly thought, why not? So I didn't bring my gimbal to keep everything stable. But Drake's Island, again, is something that's been privately owned in Plymouth for a long time, but never developed. They've had planning permission refused so many times. I believe now that the permission has been given to turn it into a hotel and resort, but we'll see. So anyway, let's walk back to the van and go to the next place. So before I drive you down to look at the historic part of Plymouth, my city, I did a bit more research on the super yacht, and basically it was built for a guy called Sir Tim Landon, but he never actually got to use it. He decided to sell it while it was being built through ill health, and basically it was sold to a guy called Sir Donald Gosling. And researching him, he was one of the co-founders of NCP car parks, and these guys are like billionaires, as you can imagine. So anyway, I'll carry on and show you some of the pictures of the yacht that I've found online, and a little bit more information about it. And you know, if you want, it's up for charter, or was up for charter at $500,000 a week. Not something that I can really afford, but you know, maybe one day, who knows. So it was built in 1992. It's 75 meters long and is one of the world's biggest yachts. It has 6 decks and a helicopter pad, including jacuzzis and internal swimming pool. It can accommodate 20 guests in 10 different bedrooms and 26 crew. It was refitted and repainted a couple times, but it's up for sale for £40 million or $50 million at this moment. So if you've got that spare cash, then I'm sure they'd be interested to talk to you. Yeah, and the reason it's up for sale is the guy that owned it, Sir Donald Gosling, died last September 19. So anyway, back to the tour. Nation, which I'm going to show you around. I'm just having to drive through the main centre of the city, on the edge of the shopping area on the left. Again, it's early on a Sunday morning, so everything's closed, and because of COVID, unless you're a supermarket, not allowed to open. But this is the main street, if you like, the main drag, called Royal Parade. Again, normally on a Saturday at least, the traffic can be nose to tail on this. So let's make sure I stop at the red light for the crossing. And we've got a green. So yeah, again, everything in the whole world's been affected by this damn virus, you know, and just can't wait for things to return to more and more normal. So what I'm doing is taking you to the old part of the city called the Barbican, and we're talking houses and stuff, or area that is hundreds of years old, back to the days of Sir Francis Drake, and where the Mayflower left. And this year is the big celebration, 400 years since the Pilgrim Fathers left Plymouth on the Mayflower ship to go to what is now the United States of America. So I'll turn the camera on when I get to the main part of the old city. Okay, so here we are. In front of us is a very famous Plymouth Gin Building, making gins since 1793, as it says. This street used to be completely cobbled, little stones. It's been resurfaced over the years because they break down. But yeah, as you can see, it's a very different look to the modern part of the city that was destroyed in the war. Now here's a good example on the right hand side of the social distancing. These people are basically queuing for one of the bakeries and coffee shops. Again, about 8 or 9 people queued, but it makes it look even longer due to the fact that they're having to queue 2 meters apart. Building on the left used to be the old fish market, but it's now had a restaurant and converted to a shop. The fish market is in a new, very new building on the other side of the quay. So this is the cobbles I was talking about, so driving very slow because it shakes you to bits. But I'm going to find somewhere to park up, take a walk back to what is just appearing on the left now, which is the area where the Pilgrim Fathers are meant to have sailed from. Who knows if it's exactly the same location, but Anyway, let's find me a parking spot and we'll have a closer look. So I managed to find a parking space. So if you look around, in front of you is the Mayflower steps in the Barbican area. Right in front of me over there is one of the marinas. I can't remember the name for a minute. Queen Anne's Battery, that's the name of it. So yeah, it's one of the many, as I said to you before. Again, still quite quiet here, so let's take a walk down to the Mayflower steps. So just walking down the hill to the actual steps themselves. Not many people around, so a good time to take some photos of it for you. Two flags flying there as well. So this is now the official place from where the Pilgrim Fathers left from. Built like a small memorial to it. You can walk out. Here is the date, Mayflower 1620. Nice little viewing platform here and some information about it. Again, the tide's in at present, so it all looks quite pleasant. There's the UK National Marine Aquarium. So here are some of the many plaques on the wall. Best thing to do is pause the video so you can read them properly, but there are many different things here. Okay, so I'm back in the van. Hope you enjoyed the little snippets of my Sunday morning and what I decided to do first thing, show you the Mayflower steps and the seafront area. As time goes by, hopefully I can make some more videos and expand a little bit more on my local area before I go back to the Philippines, which obviously at this moment in time is like so many other people waiting to go back to other countries to see friends, relations. In my case, my fiance, so we can get married. Everything's just been put on hold while this virus is hitting us, obviously. But it won't stop things happening. It'll just delay them for a while. And yeah, hopefully it's made everybody appreciate friends and family much more than they did before. Now you get forced apart. It's not good. But if there's anything else you'd like me to video and do a blog on, please make the comments and let me know. And keep watching. Thank you for watching this one. Please like and subscribe to Martin's Living on Island, and at this moment in the UK, and hopefully for not too much longer. Thank you. Bye bye.